What's up, everybody on the YouTube? Today we're converting this 2019 Phatmoto to disc brakes in the rear. So I got this hydraulic line pull caliper. Got some 203mm rotors. Those are gonna work because I'm running a 36 tooth sprocket. That probably won't work with the factory 50 tooth or whatever it is. And then there's not a whole lot of room in between here, so I got these washers that I'm gonna make spacers out of so I can hopefully get it just right where it needs to be. And then I'm gonna take some 1/8 inch sheet metal, probably drill a couple holes here and make a bracket that'll hold my caliper out here. So yeah, I'm gonna get started on it and I'll make little updates on the way. Alright guys, I got my spacers drilled out. I just took big washers and traced out the bolt pattern. I used a punch and then made a pilot hole just to get these holes precise. And that's going to allow me to squeeze that rotor in this little space away from the chain and hopefully not hitting the frame right there. So next step is to get that bolted up, and I'll update you when that's done. Alright guys, I got everything bolted up on the rim now. Got my sprocket up against the rim. I got my 3 little homemade spacers in between the sprocket and disc. And then I've got my 5 bolts with red Loctite and lock washers on them. And I just checked the clearance with the frame. It looks like the disc's got a few millimeters of clearance from the frame and the chain's got a few millimeters of clearance from the disc. So I just freaking love when stuff works right. Also, I did not mention what size bolts I got for this. These are 5mm by 30 low profile button head Allen bolts. I got the low profile ones because I feel like the larger heads might have been too big and they might have rubbed up against the frame. So we're all good. It's time to bolt it up and I'll show you guys what's going on at the next step. Alright, so I've got everything bolted on the bike. Funny story, I already cut out a bracket to hold this caliper and I messed it up because there's some ridges on this rotor and I wasn't accounting for that. So what I did was I clamped my caliper down with this cable on the highest part of the rotor, right where I want it in the brake pads. And I'm using this piece of cardboard to serve as a template for the bracket that I'm going to cut out. So I'm going to get to cutting that out and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright guys, so I got my bracket cut out with the help of my little cardboard template, and I've drilled the holes in the frame and I'm just in the process of tapping them right now. And then I'm gonna have everything bolted up and I'll run a brand new cable to this caliper and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Cool. Alright guys, so I got everything bolted up now. Put a couple of spacers right here to space the caliper out a little bit because it needed it, and it's ready to be aligned. So I'm about to run a brand new cable to it. Also ground off all the rust on that old metal. So I'll show you the finished product in a second. Alright guys, I got my caliper aligned. Brand new brake cable that's actually a little bit too short. I'm probably gonna have to go buy a new one, but I'm super pleased with how this came out. Now I got disc brakes. I did have to add a couple washers here because the ridges of this rotor ended up hitting, but it's all good now. Hit me up for more tips and tricks on the Phatmotos.